Hey there, students. Thank you for being part of this presentation. My name is Luis Silva, and today we're focusing on world history, the Counter-Reformation, 1545 to 1563. Let's move on. What is the Counter-Reformation? The Counter-Reformation is the reaction of the Catholic Church during the Protestant Reformation. The Council of Trent was the ecumenical council of the Roman Catholic Church that convened from 1545 to 1563. In response to the Protestant Reformation, key statements and clarifications regarding church doctrine, teaching, and practices were prepared. This included pronouncements on the biblical canon, original sin, justification, sacraments, baptism, the Eucharist, penance, the veneration of saints, and indulgences. The official decrees of the Council of Trent, first collected and printed in Rome in 1564, were republished in more than 110 editions before the 1600s in Italy, Spain, the Low Countries, France, and Portugal. Let's move on. During the Protestant Reformation, religious reformers called Protestants broke from the Catholic Church and started new Christian denominations. As you can see here from this image, you see the Reformation, 16th century, which we get Protestantism, and from there you get a whole bunch of other groups such as Lutheranism, Anglicanism, and Calvinism. This is the result of the breaking away from the Catholic Church. And here is an image that shows religious belief and practices in the 16th century. First, we have Martin Luther, who began the Reformation, and his doctrine was justification by faith. We also have John Calvin, who believed in the doctrine of predestination and also a strict code of living. And lastly, we have Henry VIII, not the Pope, was the head of the Anglican Church. And here we have a map of Europe in 1560, and as you can see, it's color-coded with the different religions that had evolved by around the 1560s. In the 1500s, the new Protestant faith spread, especially into northern Europe, in areas away from the power of the Catholic Church. But most Europeans, especially in Spain, France, Portugal, and Italy, stayed with the Catholic Church, which remained the largest religion in Europe, but it had lost much of its power and influence in Europe. The response of the Catholic Church to the Protestant Reformation became known as the Counter-Reformation. You may also hear the Catholic Reformation, and it's basically the same thing. One of the first reformers in the Catholic Church was Ignatius of Loyola, who formed what became known as the Society of Jesus in 1540. Members of the Society of Jesus were also called Jesuits, and they had three goals. Goal number one was that Jesuits formed schools to better educate Catholic priests. Goal number two was that Jesuits tried to stop the spread of Protestantism. Goal number three was that Jesuits sent missionaries around the world to convert non-Christians to Catholicism. As you can see in these images here, you see Catholic priests preaching to different groups of people. Here in this image, we also have a Catholic priest who is preaching to many indigenous people. In 1545, Pope Paul III created a committee of Catholic leaders to review church practices. This became known as the Council of Trent. Over the next 18 years, the Council of Trent worked on a series of reforms for the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church, first of all, stopped selling false indulgences. New schools were also created to educate priests. The Council of Trent also reaffirmed several core Catholic beliefs and practices. First, the Catholic Church interpretation of the Bible was said to be final, and all others who interpret the Bible are known as heretics or non-believers. They also said that salvation is gained through faith in God and good works. They also said that the 7 holy sacraments are legitimate means to gain God's grace, and this is something that they enforced. To enforce these beliefs, the church used the Inquisition to accuse, hold trials, and also punish heretics, punish those people who said something different than what the Catholic Church was saying. These are some of the forms of punishment, as you can see here to the left side, the image. Very bad. Unlike today that you can speak your mind, during this time you could not speak your mind because then you were going to be punished and put to death. Here we have another image of the punishment that those people received, those ones that we call heretics, or that the Catholic Church called heretics, or people that they thought went against the Catholic Church. Here we also have another image to the right, and you see how this gentleman here is being tortured, punished because of his way of believing, which went against what the Catholic Church was saying. Here we also have another image in which a person known as a heretic, he went against what the Catholic Church was saying, and his punishment is clearly visible to us here. Unfortunately, you could not speak your mind during this time, and if you did, you paid with your life. The church also banned and burned all offensive books, including the Protestant Bibles. But what was the impact of the Reformation? Well, the Protestant Reformation left Europe seriously and rigorously divided. There were numerous religious wars that were fought between Catholics and Protestants. The weakened authority of the Pope helped kings, absolute rulers, gain power and also form nations. Also, missionaries converted non-Christians throughout the world. The Reformation encouraged education and the questioning of long-held beliefs. So people were actually encouraged to doubt. People were encouraged to think twice about believing what others were telling them. We have come to the end of this presentation. Please make sure to subscribe, and I will see you in the next presentation.